The big political story of the day, veteran Congress leader and former Union Minister Ghulam Nabi Azad has snapped ties with the party after 5 decades of association. In a letter addressed to Congress President Sonia Gandhi, Azad, who also served as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, singled out and heavily criticized Rahul Gandhi, accusing him of demolishing the consultative mechanism that existed within the party. Azad wrote that Rahul sidelined all senior and experienced leaders and let a new coterie of inexperienced sycophants run the party. He added that Congress had conceded its political space to the BJP and regional parties because the leadership in the past 8 years has tried to foist a non-serious individual at the helm of the party. Meanwhile, the Congress threw its weight behind Rahul and questioned the timing of Azad's exit from the party. Party spokesperson Jairam Samesh said that the veteran leader chose to resign when the Congress was gearing up for 2 very important political programs. Let me take this forward. We have Sanjay Kumar, political analyst and professor at CSDS, Rahul Verma, fellow at the Center for Policy Research. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Kumar, if I can begin with you, how big a loss is this for the Congress party, and what could be the timing for this?
See, every single leader who leaves the party, especially for the Congress, where we have seen or we have witnessed senior leader exiting the party, I think every single leader exiting the party is a big blow. Remember at the time of Punjab elections, the Chief Minister, he was in the Congress party for such a long time, he left the party. So I don't think there is anything to suggest that this is not a blow for the party. It is a blow for the party. Now about the timing, yes. 2 states goes to poll, Gujarat and Himachal, and then Congress is preparing for the Yatra. I think I don't find any connection that Azad want to put pressure on the party because these are the important events Congress party has to initiate, and that is why he is putting down his papers because he want to do some bargain, etc. So I don't really understand. I don't want to put the resignation letter vis-a-vis the timings. I think it could have happened a month before. It could have happened even a month later. So I don't find any connection between his resignation and the timing. I think there were signs of his being unhappy with the party. If people in the Congress party were not looking at these signals, if they were not getting the signals, I think they were trying to divert the attention. I think signals were very clear. So I don't find any connection between resignation and the timing.
All right. So you're saying signals are very clear. Rahul Verma, what does this mean for the Congress party, especially for the election of the Congress president, which is going to take place in the next few weeks? It has been delayed. But you have Ghulam Nabi Azad, who has spent at least 50 years with the Congress party. He has gone ahead and said that Rahul is immature. He's blamed a coterie of sycophants around him for taking all these decisions. When you have such a senior leader who was quite close to 10th Jatpat making statements like these, do you think the Gandhis can continue at the helm of the Congress party?
We don't know that, Parikshit, whether Gandhis would decide to continue or not, and whether the elections for the party president is actually going to be held or not, or this delay is part of all other delays that have been taking place. In my opinion, for last few years, especially since 2014, Congress party is bleeding and bleeding very badly. And what I completely agree with Sanjay. Every time a leader of this stature leaves the party and makes those allegations against the first family and the party, that's a very, very big signal. In the perceptive loss of each such leader moving away from the party basically tells us that party is nowhere close to understanding the nature of its crisis and doing anything to be able to solve the problems that is emanating Congress party.
Right. So clearly it is a big loss, and there have been a series of leaders who have left over the years. And of course, the Congress still trying to back Rahul Gandhi to the hilt. Sanjay Kumar, coming to you. Now, what is the possibility of some of the senior leaders who have left the Congress recently of forming their own outfit, forming their own political party in the days to come?
I don't see the possibility of all these Congress leaders, senior Congress leaders who have left the party, coming together and forming their own party before 2024. I think the time is too short for them to join together and form a party which could emerge as an alternative or a new Congress. My own sense is that the Congress would continue in the shape it is at the moment till 2024, maybe still headed by the Gandhi family, one of the Gandhi family members of the Gandhi family. And after 2024, when the party will get defeated badly, which is most likely to happen again in 2024, that is the time when I think my own guess is that is the time Congress might witness a major split, and then we may see a new Congress emerging out of the old Congress, which might include a lot of senior leaders who have left the party, and maybe other senior leaders who may choose to remain in the party till 2024. But before that, I don't see the possibility of these leaders joining together and forming a new party of their own.
Right. Rahul, do you get a sense that if things continue in this manner, if Sonia Gandhi is once again chosen as the leader of the Congress, if the reins of the Congress party remain with Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, do you think there will be more damage in the terms of more leaders walking out of the Congress party in the weeks to come?
Parikshit, I would merge your question with the question that you asked Sanjay ji to answer this. And the reason is following. In our analysis, we put too much weight on the family and the problem that the first family might be creating for the Congress party. But in some ways, we have to also look at what these leaders like Ghulam Nabi Azad or other leaders who have either raised their voice or left the party can or cannot do. In some ways, what has happened, like what is surprising, that after 2 elections, after the murmurs that have been there for a couple of years, none of them have stood and said, a lot has happened, I am now going to contest for the presidency post. Because the Congress constitution actually allows that anyone can contest for the post of presidential election with just 10 delegates, right? And so in some ways, what we are also witnessing, and that's the history of the Congress party since 70s, that now there is no leader left in the Congress party who can actually start a successful party even at the state level. To start a successful political party, you need at least 2 things. One, a significant mass base in that state, and second, period. And we know, like if you read all the names, even in the people who wrote the letter, except 1 or 2, hardly anyone is there within the Congress party who has significant mass base in their states, who can create a political party or can actually challenge the leadership, right? So they can make all these allegations, write letters, and leave the party. But there is no open rebellion happening in the Congress party. And that's why I agree with Sanjay ji. Perhaps we are not going to see a split in the Congress party like we saw in 1969 or like we saw in 1978. So a vertical split in the Congress party is not on the cards. Now, whether the Gandhis are going to, like, Rahul Gandhi gave enough indications that, please, I'm leaving the post of presidency. No one from the family is going to contest for the post of presidency. You all decide amongst yourself who should be the president of the party. And in some ways, none of these leaders, despite raising concerns and other things, are actually ready to go against the family and take things head on.
All right. We've run out of time, but Rahul Verma, Mr. Sanjay Kumar, thank you very much for joining us here on Newscenter, giving us your view on the big exit from the Congress party, and that is Ghulam Nabi Azad, veteran Congress leader and also former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Newscenter. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.